Disclaimer. The majority of this was written about 3 to 4 years ago. I don't completely agree with everything in this story anymore, so just remember that I was only 13 to 14 when I wrote this.
Paranormal Forest.
Dipper woke up in a cold sweat. He had a nightmare, just like ever since wiedźmageddon. He kept having nightmares of Bill, even though he knew they had defeated him. Though, this time, the nightmare wasn't about Bill. It was about a faceless man, and a bunch of other creepy people. Just thinking about it made shivers go down Dipper's spine. He checked his clock. It was 3 in the morning, but he felt like he couldn't go back to sleep. He opened up the journal. Fortunately, after a few years, he and Ford managed to recover all the information in the journals and recreated them. He looked through the journal, attempting to identify what kind of creature the faceless man was.
No, no, no.
Dipper repeated multiple times under his breath. It appeared that Ford had no data on the faceless creature in Journal 3. Dipper resolved to ask Ford about it later. Meanwhile, the very same faceless creature was staring at Dipper through the window. This creature was known as the Slenderman. It appeared as a pale, faceless man with a dark, almost black suit. Slenderman lives in a mansion with all of the creepy people Dipper was dreaming about. They are known as creepypastas. To prevent too much loss of prey in one area and discovery, the mansion teleported to different forests every few months. Of course, there were some survivors who managed to write about these guys, but Slenderman made sure that they died soon after writing the story, either by the same creepypasta or a different one, or one of his proxies. Slenderman thought about Dipper and his twin sister Mabel. They already knew so much of the paranormal, and would be the most likely to find out about the creepypastas. He quickly teleported back to the mansion. He had to get rid of them somehow, but how should he go about this? He decided on an announcement to the mansion.
Masky,
Slenderman said in his telepathic voice.
Assemble the other creepypastas, and I mean all of them. I have some important news that everyone needs to hear.
Masky, a man in a yellow jacket and a white feminine mask that almost made him seem somewhat gay, nodded his head and ran off to get the other creepypastas and proxies. Slenderman sighed. He really shouldn't have chosen Gravity Falls. Already, the creepypastas were in danger of discovery by the Pines. Soon, all the creepypastas were gathered in the living room.
Alright, what the hell does face want?
A pale-faced teenager asked. This teenager was known as Jeff the Killer. He's already one of the most heard of creepypastas ever. Most had heard of him, but in case you haven't, he was a pale teen with blackened hair and a somewhat leathery face. Next to him was a Link look-alike, known as Ben Drowned. Ben was also a well-heard-of creepypasta.
Okay, children,
Slenderman said telepathically as he entered the room.
I have some dreadful news. We are already in danger of being discovered here. After scouting, I have found that most of the people here are as dumb as bricks. Emphasis on most. There are a handful of people who might discover us, namely the Pines family. I have gathered you here to debate on how to solve this problem.
I say we kill them! Jeff said. Most of the creepypastas agreed. Then, a young woman who had the grace and adorableness of a child in a pink nightgown went up to the creepypastas. Her name was Sally, and she is the only one who hasn't killed anyone.
Excuse me, but I think there's another way.
Sally said.
Maybe we can have them stay here until they become creepypastas, like us.
Sally, what a wonderful idea. Though, it'll only work on 2 of them.
Slenderman said.
Dipper and Mabel Pines. They are the twins at the age of 16. The other Pines will have to go. We'll get Dipper and Mabel first, and then later kill the others.
Everyone agreed with Slender, because if they didn't agree, they'd get a tentacle whipped to the back of their head. The proxy known as Masky then came up to ask Slender something.
Who will be going to retrieve the twins?
Masky said.
Well, child, I have already decided.
Slender said.
You and Toby will be going to retrieve them. After all, we will have EJ kill the others. You know that he has begun to run out of food, right, child?
I have to go with Toby?
Masky exclaimed.
But he's so annoying!
Ticci Toby was the name of a proxy who they were talking about. Toby, a somewhat pale teen with chocolate hair and bright orange goggles, could be quite annoying sometimes with his antics, and had tended to get on Masky's nerves, especially when he poked him repeatedly while saying the words, "Hey, Masky." Masky simply sighed. He then grabbed Toby to help him prepare to kidnap the Pines twins.